We're going to start at the beginning because this thing is loaded with just awesome Easter eggs, different universes, different versions of characters, and we're going to talk about a lot of that. I bet some of you missed some of this. Maybe I missed some of it. If you have thoughts on that, drop a comment. But let's get started. Clearly, we start as an homage to 2008's Iron Man, which started the whole MCU. Is that Robert Downey Jr. voicing Tony Stark? I think so. I don't know for sure. I hope we can get confirmation on that one way or another. I know the big selling point of this show is the fact that they are returning the MCU cast almost entirely for their characters. So I do think RDJ is voicing it, but it does sound different than we're used to hearing when we see him do this in live action. But the big twist is coming
I'd be out of a job
when the bomb that turns him into Iron Man turns him into Iron Man. This is straight out of the first Iron Man movie. If you don't know that, are you a Marvel fan? This is not straight out of the first Iron Man movie. This is Killmonger rescuing Tony Stark, which Killmonger's history in the MCU is obviously one of being a soldier. And this seems like maybe that soldier was in the right place to help Tony Stark. And it clearly is going to change the path of Killmonger's life. Maybe Tony Stark takes him under his wing.
Do we know each other?
Gives him an opportunity to be accepted by the world and supported instead of the way he was treated by the world leading up to the Black Panther movie. And that's going to be a big change for him in this universe. The Watcher. The Watcher. I don't... Okay. So clearly Strange is going to be a big part of this. I think we can expect to see Strange in most episodes of the show.
Reality.
And this is just him travel into all these different universes in his own little Space Jam portal. We dig it. All right, so this is the very interesting thing. So this is the shot, obviously, the big iconic shot from the first Avengers movie, right, where it goes around, but it glitches and it changes and it goes to this alternate universe. This is New York, and then we're not in New York. We are in, maybe that's Tokyo. I'm not sure what those symbols are. Maybe they're Mandarin symbols. I wish I could have came with that information, but I don't have it. But what's interesting is this seems like it's forming like a completely alternate Avengers. So maybe this is like the culmination of What If. Maybe this is how it all, comes together. We have Gamora wearing Thanos' armor, using Thanos' sword that we saw in Avengers Endgame. T'Challa is Star-Lord. Thor over here, I think that's the party Thor that we've seen kind of in leaks and stuff. The left side is that Black Panther. It looks like a version of Black Panther on the left side, but like obviously not T'Challa Black Panther because our T'Challa is right there in the center, and then party Thor on the right. So it certainly seems like this could be building towards like an alternate version of the Avengers altogether, and that could be the iconic moment where a different team assembles to fight a different baddie that isn't Loki and a Chitauri invasion in New York, which is just fun. Like they can do whatever they want with this show because it doesn't impact the rest of the MCU canon. They can add whatever they want. They can do whatever they want in that regard, and there is really no fallout unless maybe these things tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Maybe we'll see these universes in live action in that movie.
Where you want to be?
Straight up homage to Peter Quill, Star-Lord in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's T'Challa.
That's the question, isn't it?
Obviously, Yondu picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, which is interesting because we're going to have to wonder why. And I had a theory that maybe the Loki timeline bombing, when Sylvie bombed the timeline at the end of episode 2 of Loki, this is all those locations were kind of what spawned the stories we're going to see in What If. And this looks like maybe it's a scenario where Ego was erased before Star-Lord could have been born. I don't know if that's going to turn out to be true or relevant, but maybe.
Isn't it?
Black Widow and Hulk. I don't know what's going on here. Hulk, who are all these people around the Hulk that he is just yeeting? Man, are these all Ultron bots? Are these people? Does anybody have an answer to that? I'm trying to let's see if we can get a closer look. Hulk is just sending bodies flying somewhere. I'm trying to think of when this could be or who those people could be. Is that like the whole Black Widow program? Is that Ultron bots? Not sure. Oh, he's still saying. And then what? I guess this is a version of the Stark Expo. but Thor is there. Loki has a whole army. It looks like Loki is commanding Asgard because this looks like it could be Volstagg. Let's make this full screen. Let's go full screen here. On the left side, you have possibly Volstagg right next to Loki, and he is at standoff.
Different.
And all those people have Loki horns, so they're clearly following him. And it looks like Loki is just invading Earth differently. Like, that looks like it's a standoff with Nick Fury and some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents probably. And behind Loki, you have some key characters. I know Volstagg is one of those characters. I can't see who the others are. Maybe Sif is in there? Maybe Natasha? I don't think so. Could it be Natasha? But yeah, let's keep going. We're like a third of the way through the trailer, and there's so much to take away from it.
Each
Vision, not voiced by Paul Bettany.
one
Like, who is this voice?
is different. Each one.
I don't know who's voicing Vision in this. It's not Paul Bettany there, if that is Vision speaking. Howard the Duck is coming back. He's getting a whole new suit. James Gunn put him in the post-credit scene of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe this is a follow-up to the Howard the Duck movie. Maybe it's set in that universe. Peggy Carter riding the Mark I Iron Man, I think. I believe Steve Rogers is flying that. So this is like a very alternate universe where Peggy gets the super soldier serum. She becomes Captain Carter, Captain Britain, and Steve Rogers doesn't get the super soldier serum, and he instead now seems to be the new Iron Man of sorts. They're going to battle together. Killmonger looks like he is a member of Wakanda's army of some sort because he's riding those rhinos. It looks like the Iron Giant in the background, like that figure in the back. I don't know what that is back there, immediately under his armpit, but it does give me Iron Giant vibes. Maybe it's a version of Iron Man.
Slow down a little bit. There's a few people in the room that don't understand.
Oh, we're going
Not
slow.
me,
That's definitely Chris Hemsworth's voice. We love that. I think the coolest thing about this is the fact that we're getting the cast in these roles that they've been playing in live action, but they can do whatever they want. They can do these offshoot stories, and it doesn't affect the canon. It's all the stories that we were never going to get in live action, and I dig that.
I get it.
Doctor Strange. Somebody's dead next to Doctor Strange, or at least down bad. Let's make this one full screen. All right, he's pissed. Like, he is. The new costume is sick. Maybe that's what he's going to wear in Multiverse of Madness. Who is next? Like, it looks like Poison Ivy. Like, I'm just because of the red hair. Obviously, it's not Poison Ivy, but somebody is down next to Doctor Strange, and they need a revive. And Doctor Strange doesn't seem to be giving them the res, as COD players would say. But somebody's down. This shot is gorgeous. This shot is fantastic. Peggy Carter as Captain Carter, in it right in front of the moon. Look at that. So cool. Drop it in. She just took somebody down, some sort of alien with green blood. She's fighting soldiers. And then we have,
Who are you?
she meets Doctor Strange. I wonder if this is our Doctor Strange, though. Like, I wonder if this is just the animated version of main MCU's Doctor Strange, because he's going to be a character that bounces between the multiverse, right? Like, this kind of might apply to his canon.
The name's Captain Carter.
All right. Zola is here, but they're making this look like Zola is reacting to Captain Carter. I personally think he's reacting to the Marvel zombies that we're going to see. Somebody in the quantum realm. We know Janet was lost in the quantum realm back for years, and she got out in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Is this Janet? Maybe. Kind of looks like a Ronin costume. Somebody may know better than me. Somebody may have ideas there. If you do, drop them in the comments. Let's keep going. The Watcher looking over New York City. Okay, who is in T'Challa's Guardians gang? Taserface on the right. Sean Gunn, Kraglin, I think, right there to the right of T'Challa. Yondu to his left, and then is that Karath the Pursuer? Is Jaimin Hounsou back for What If? That would be really cool because Karath was very underused, and Jaimin Hounsou has been in like so many Marvel and DC movies. Why not just bring him back for What If? I love that Taserface is back though. Taserface. Spider-Man. See, what's interesting here is that Spider-Man is in What If. He's on a Disney Plus show. So let me explain this for everybody who is wondering about this. According to the Sony email leaks back years ago, Spider-Man can be used by Marvel Studios and Disney in animated TV form for episodes that are less than 44 minutes long. That's what it was as of 2014. So they can put Spider-Man in any of the Disney Plus shows, I think, definitely in animation. I'm not sure about live action, as long as it's less than 44 minutes long. So they can't make movies with Spider-Man without Sony's permission, but Disney can put Spider-Man in animated shows that are shorter than a movie. And clearly Peter Parker's back, and I believe he's wearing the Avengers campus costume. I dig that costume. The costume looks great. Would love to see it in live action. Hopefully we do. Obviously the leaks for Spider-Man, no, not leaks, the toys that have just been revealed don't use that costume. So we'll see if that becomes a factor in the live action MCU.
I observe all that.
Here we have Black Widow riding her motorcycle, clearly reflective of Age of Ultron. We do know that this is going to be a post-apocalyptic version where Ultron won, and Black Widow might be the lone survivors. If you look right over her back there, you have Ultron bots pursuing her. Maybe she's going into hiding. Here's zombie Captain America. Then you have zombie Iron Man, and I think right behind zombie Iron Man, you have zombie Hulk, right? Who else could that be? That's zombie Hulk, right? This is going to be such a sick episode. But which costume is he wearing? That's one of the more recent Iron Man suits, which tells us this is set, I believe that's the Infinity War suit, which tells us this is set after Infinity War. That's the suit he wore to fight Thanos the first time around, I think. I don't think that's the Endgame suit, but it's definitely either Infinity War or Endgame, but I think it's Infinity War.
But I do not.
I'm sorry this breakdown is not sharper and tighter, but I'm doing this in real time. Thor from the first Thor movie, Hawkeye from the first Thor movie, these homages. This is kind of rule out. There was that expectation for a while that maybe Spider-Man was going to be Hawkeye because the What If logo made it look like Peter Parker was in a Hawkeye costume. I think this kind of rules that out. Maybe not. If this show, it just seems like anything, it can do anything it wants.
But I do not.
Ooh.
Cannot.
Is that a young Shuri? With Doras and Pepper. Pepper is in Wakanda with the Doras, right? That's Pepper in the back.
Cannot.
Yeah, that's Pepper Potts kicking ass with the Dora Milaje. Interesting. Ego is still around, at least in one of these universes, and he is up to no good. I don't trust this guy. Doctor Strange, maybe. Is that hell? Mephisto confirmed. Mephisto confirmed. Doctor Strange going through it. Peggy Carter getting sucked up by some sort of tentacle monster. I don't know. Maybe we're going to Atlantis?
Interfere.
The ancient one. We heard her talking earlier. Okoye. Okoye trying to take down Scarlet Witch. Interesting. Scarlet Witch clearly either losing control of her power or becoming a villain. Very interesting move there because Scarlet Witch is directly tied to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Drax and T'Challa, his Guardian of the Galaxy leader, because Star-Lord is not anymore in this universe. Here's an interesting part. Let's take a close look at this, closer than you did before. Black Widow is throwing a shield. At first glance, you're like, oh, it's Captain America's shield, right? This is the post-apocalyptic world where Ultron won. It's like, that is the shield that Red Guardian uses in the Black Widow movie, which is now playing in theaters. That's Red Guardian's shield. So maybe she's really pissed because Red Guardian died or something. But certainly not Cap's normal shield there. Killmonger. I don't think Killmonger is going to be a good guy in this universe. I think Killmonger is going to be a character who can be good because clearly he looks like he's
Freestyle.
Ultron bomb. Loki using the Tesseract. It looks like that negotiation with Nick Fury did not go the way Nick Fury wanted it to. That's not the Tesseract. That's that artifact from Odin's Vault. That is... I wish I remembered the name of it off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody in the comment section can help me out here. But that is certainly the artifact from Odin's Vault, which we saw when the Frost Giants tried to raid the vault in the first Thor movie. That's very interesting. And there's the Destroyer in the background. The Destroyer is right there in the back. This is going to be an action-packed episode. Oh, I'm intrigued. Ramonda leading the Doras, maybe against Killmonger? T'Challa's mom, the Queen of Wakanda. The Vision, the toaster just had enough toasting. He's just unplugging himself. He said, screw it. I wonder why he is ripping the Mind Stone out of his own head, though. It's a really interesting shot. It makes kind of it's an inevitability, as Thanos would say, that Vision loses the Mind Stone at some point. Hulking out. Ant-Man's head in a jar. If you put the captions on, you'll see this is Scott Lang. That is Ant-Man's head in a jar. Maybe a comedic moment there. Somehow Ant-Man loses his head and gets preserved. He's standing beside Vision. I'm not sure what's going on in that episode. Party door. Throwing the hammer.
We have you outnumbered.
The Ravagers. What's the name of this group that they fight in the first Guardians movie? Oh, I feel like such a bum when I forget things like this, but this is the downfall of doing these things live.
A Ravager never flies solo.
It is weird to hear Chadwick's voice. It's both, exciting and comforting, but also real sad because I believe this is his last role. Since he passed away, he did record these, obviously, sometime earlier, I think last year. Or the year before, because this show has been in development for a long time. So it's going to be tough to hear Chadwick talk knowing, this is the last time we'll hear him in Marvel at all.
Solo. I said never flies solo.
Is that some kind of catchphrase?
And then we get Yondu homaging the first Guardians, and we took all these guys out the same way.
You had me worried for a second.
And then they team up to fight an absolutely jacked Collector. Collector is shredded. Look at this guy. I can only imagine the things we're going to see in his collection in this movie. It looks like maybe he went through the same process Rocket Raccoon went through. So maybe this is going to kind of give us some insight into how Rocket Raccoon was built for the MCU, the character that we've seen in live action. But I can only imagine because, if you look at the most recent episode of Loki, episode 5, all the Easter eggs they got to throw in there because they didn't affect the canon, because it was just like a multiverse dump yard to have the Living Tribunal head and the Dark Aster and the Thanos copter and all the awesome things we got to geek out on that aren't part of the main MCU universe. I feel like this can do that as well in the Collector's Lair for What If.
Sure.
And here you just have all the different shots. You have Tony tinkering, T'Challa learning to fly, Nick Fury. I mean, a lot to take in here. There's more and more as it goes on. Is that Howard Stark at the top left? More zombies on the left side. Is that Obadiah Stane on the right? Am I crazy? Vision, Bucky, all kinds of stuff to take in here. Captain Carter. And then we would go through. We get more on the way in. You got Hulk. I love the fact that we're seeing a Rage Monster Hulk again, personally, because we're not going to see that in live action because we have Professor Hulk now. Star-Lord, Captain Carter, Black Widow, I think, actually. War Machine, Mark 1 Iron Man, the Collector, who is jacked now. Loki, Hawkeye, Captain Marvel, just even.
What if?
I think this looks like an absolute ton of fun. Things we didn't see. We didn't see Hela, Shang-Chi, a lot of parts of What If that haven't been revealed yet. Thanos, things that are expected to be a part of this show, things I know are a part of this show that aren't in this first trailer. And the first trailer was epic already. If you want to talk more about it, you can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Brandon Davis BD. Head over to comicbook.com/Marvel. Follow the Comic Book channel on Twitch if you're watching us live. Throw a thumbs up if you're watching this video on YouTube. Drop a comment to let us know you watched the video to the end. Use hashtag PartyThor to let us know you watched through the end. And that's today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the Phase Zero podcast on any major podcast platform. If you want to talk more about the MCU and all things Marvel, we have a Black Widow bonus episode coming up over the weekend, and we have the Loki finale next week, followed by a special guest from Loki the week after. That's your What If trailer breakdown. If you have Easter eggs you caught, please send them my way. Drop them in the comments. I'm going to end the stream and call it a day.